Okay, folks, I think we're ready to go. Everybody's set up and ready to go. Okay, so a very warm welcome from everybody here in Cavan Institute. I suppose we're all working at home, but we're still all working. Today's live event probably should last approximately 1.25 hours, 1.5 hours, all right? If you do happen to, I suppose, pop out during the event, or you have to get out, make a cup of tea or come back or whatever, bear in mind the event is recorded, so you can go back in and view it on our social media outlets at any time after the event, all right? So look at that may happen. If you have any questions, I suppose get thinking about them now, because we have a Q&A session at the end. So maybe you might feel more comfortable asking a question today, all right, online. Okay. So just in terms of the panel today, okay. First of all, my name is Enda O'Reilly. I am one of the school heads here at Cavan Institute, and I will also be your MC. We will have Anne-Marie Lacey, our director, will be coming in after me just to say a few short words. Brenda Hennessy, another school head at Cavan Institute, will be given an overview of the various courses on offer at Cavan Institute. We have Sonia Hoy from our career guidance team. Sonia will give career guidance advice and I suppose answer any questions probably in the Q&A session at the end. During the session today as well, we will also hear from two past students, Orla Crow, who is a former nursing student, and Orla has popped into us several times since she's left to help out with various open days and so on. And we'll also have Christopher Conroy. Christopher was a sports coaching and a sports development student, so he stayed with us for 2 years. So we'll hear from them later on in the show, in the live show. All right. Okay. So just for yourselves, okay, the Q&A session is at the end. You should see your Q&A button along the bottom of your screen. You can pop in a question now, and we will answer everybody's question at some stage today. It may not be part of the live show, but we will get to everybody's question afterwards. All right. Okay, and just in terms of the actual flow of the event, all right. I'm going to pass you on to Anne-Marie now in a few moments, so Anne-Marie will give you a brief welcome. After that, we will have a short video which was created by our creative digital media students under very short notice, I should add, but they've done great work on it under the expert tutelage of Donna, their tutor Donna McCarran. Next, after the short video, Brenda will come in then and give an overview of the various courses on offer in the Institute. After Brenda will pass on then to our two students, Orla and Christopher. So look, it'd be great to hear from their perspective. After our two short videos, we will invite Sonia then in afterwards to give advice on various career options as a result of doing a PLC course in Cavan Institute. After Sonia then, I suppose that's where it'll be a little bit more interactive for yourselves, all right? So that's our Q&A session. So we'll try and keep that as informal as we possibly can. And as I said at the start, if we don't get to your question during the live show today, we will answer your question at some stage, all right, for sure. And then after the Q&A session, Anne-Marie will just come in just with a very short kind of closing address. So that's it, folks. Bear in mind the event will be recorded, so as I said, if you do need to pop out, don't worry, you can get on our social media outlets. So I'm going to pass now over to Anne-Marie.
Hello everybody, as Enda said, my name is Anne-Marie, I'm Director at Cavan Institute, and I'm delighted to welcome you to this inaugural live event at the Institute today. This is the first, I suppose, of a number of events that we have planned to connect with anybody who might be looking at further education options for the coming academic year. The purpose of the event today is to really give you some insights into what Cavan Institute has to offer in terms of courses of study, in terms of student experiences in general, and most importantly, in terms of the guidance support that's offered to our students at the Institute. If you've just completed the Leaving Cert cycle and remain unsure as to what's next for you, many of our students would say that a year at the Institute has opened many doors for them and led them to very positive experiences in terms of progressing to higher education and also in terms of gaining employment. There might be many of you out there today who are perhaps thinking that maybe they might defer a university course next year, they may take a gap year. And I suppose this is something we've noticed has been an increasing trend over the last number of years. And it's really proven to be an ideal opportunity for students to follow a course of study that they're interested in, to gain qualifications and to experience small classes, which I suppose has really helped them in making that transition either to higher education or to employment. We're very mindful also of the current concerns that exist and uncertainties around employment opportunities, particularly in the coming months. And I suppose from the Institute's point of view, we're kind of, of the view that it's not maybe a bad idea to consider taking a year to follow a course of study in an area that might be of interest to students, which can really help in exploring areas that you're interested in. It can also give you access to the supports that are available to students in the Institute to help to guide and advise towards making those important career choices. We're very mindful also that there remains a lot of uncertainty as to what the next year is going to look like at college. And I suppose from our own point of view at the Institute, I want to assure you that at the Institute we are planning ahead and moving forward and looking forward to welcoming a new group of students to the Institute next year, into programs that we know will assist you in making those important, I suppose, decisions around the next step on your education journey. The next item on the agenda this morning, as Enda mentioned, we're going to give you an insight into really what the Institute is like. And we're going to show you a short video that has been prepared in-house by our students, by the creative digital media students, which will give you some sense of what life at Cavan Institute is like, and I hope you enjoy it.
I'm Ryan Matton and we're live here at Ramartier for Cavan Institute Song Competition where we're looking for the next superstar.
Hi everyone, my name is Brenda Hennessy and I'm Head of School of Creative Practices, Computing and Engineering at Cavan Institute, and you're very welcome to our live event today. I'm going to talk to you for just a few minutes about why you should choose further education and more specifically why you should choose to come to Cavan Institute. Further education is both a stepping stone to higher education and a direct pathway to employment. It's an ideal way of getting you future ready, whether that's by gaining QQI points and using the Higher Education Link Scheme to go on to colleges and universities, or whether it's by gaining the skills, knowledge, competence and the professional qualifications required to go directly into employment. At Cavan Institute, we have long and well-established links with both industry and with higher education institutions. So this places us in an ideal position to guide you along, no matter whichever pathway you choose. At Cavan Institute, we offer courses at level 5 and 6 on the National Framework of Qualifications. So if you've just done Leaving Cert, this is an ideal next step to going on to a level 7 or a level 8 course. And don't forget, most people undertake qualifications in order to prepare them for work, and whatever the level, whether it's 5, 6 or 7 or 8, it's all preparing for employment ultimately. So all of our courses have a vocational element to them. All of our courses have work experience as part of them. And again, it's an invaluable way of getting an insight into an area that you're interested in and also into the wider world of work. So if you wish to progress on to higher education, why should you choose to come to us at Cavan Institute? So firstly, you'll get an opportunity to try out an area that you're interested in without committing to a 4-year degree programme. And we have specific pre-university courses as well. Check them out on our website at www.cavaninstitute.ie. Secondly, you will get to use the points that you obtain through doing one of our courses to apply through CAO to colleges and universities in Ireland, and also through the UCAS system to apply to colleges and universities in the UK. You will also get to polish up on your basic survival skills, which are very important for going on to college life and higher education. You'll get to learn how to do projects and presentations, assignments and assessments, and you'll also learn how to research and reference properly, which is a vital skill for higher ed. And really importantly, you'll also get to mix and to make friends with people and students from all walks of life. You'll get to build your confidence, work on your personal development, and also learn to manage the anxieties that college life and indeed life in general can cause you. If you wish to find employment or maybe retrain or upskill, you can fast track your route to employment by choosing one of our vocationally specific hands-on practical courses. We have loads of these, such as hairdressing or barbering, beauty therapy or complementary therapies, professional cookery or hospitality, carpentry, construction, building construction, motor vehicle maintenance. We have childcare and special needs assistant courses, security and healthcare support, tourism, nail technician, makeup artistry. There are so many to choose from. And these programs will allow you to enter the workforce after maybe 1 year or in some cases 2 years of study. And then many of you really don't know what you want to do. And a year at the Institute will give you a bit of headspace. It'll give you the leeway to try and figure out what your next steps are going to be. And whatever path you're on, we'll be there. We'll be there to guide you, to help you set your goals, to maximise your potential, and to help you onto the next rung of the ladder to your future. So there's many reasons why you should come to Cavan Institute. First of all, there's no points required for our courses. We're still very much accepting applications online. Just go to www.cavaninstitute.ie. With no interviews, unlike many colleges. You are inducted in September, so you just go online and get your application in. It's very much on a first come, first serve basis. We've excellent transport links also to surrounding towns and counties through Bus Éireann, Local Link, private bus companies, and there's a gate, there's a bus stop right at the gate of the college. We have great accommodation in Cavan as well. It's not expensive and it's plentiful compared to elsewhere in Ireland. Fees are low, just a fraction of the cost of going to higher education, and details of all of our fees, the fees for all of our courses are on our website. During the year, also a large proportion of your assessment will be through continuous assessment, and just a small proportion is through final examination at the end of the year. And then there's the atmosphere, and at Cavan Institute we really look on ourselves as being a large learning community. The atmosphere is informal, it's responsive, it's supportive, students love it. We have excellent supports, including counselling, careers guidance, learning support. We have an on-campus doctor. We have excellent student services, including a canteen, library, there's IT support, student council, sports teams, clubs and societies. Really, it's just like any other college, except it's smaller and it's probably nearer to where you live. So, like any other college, we also have different schools. We're divided into 4 schools. The school of which I'm head is Creative Practices, Computing and Engineering. We offer courses in art and design, music, sound and theatre, professional cookery and hospitality, computing, creative digital media, engineering, electronics, motors, construction and carpentry. Hairdressing, beauty and science offers hairdressing and barbering courses, beauty therapy and complementary therapy courses, makeup artistry and nail technician, and a range of science courses, including forensics, science and lab techniques, animal management and sports science. Our healthcare, sport and physical therapy school offers really popular courses in pre-nursing, midwifery, healthcare support, sports coaching, sports development, occupational therapy, physiotherapy assistant, emergency first responder. And finally then, our School of Business and Humanities offers courses in business administration, business studies, in accountancy, in tourism, in security, in law, and a range of courses in humanities as well. In social care, in sociology and psychology, in early childhood education, in childcare, and in culture and heritage studies. So basically there's something there for everybody. So go to our website, check out the courses on www.cavininstitute.ie. Course content is listed there along with progression opportunities and our course fees. So now I am going to pass you on to 2 of our past students who better to give you an insight into life in Cavan Institute and their experiences there. Our first student is Orla Crowe, a previous nursing student, and Christopher Conroy, a sports coaching and sports development student. I'll pass over to them.
Hi, my name's Orla Crowe. I'm from Cavan and I completed the nursing course here in Cavan Institute. I am currently an adult nurse and I have a job in Holles Street. I just want to say how I got on in Cavan Institute from completing the nursing course, that you got so much support from all the tutors, and 4 years later I'm so grateful for all the support that they've given me, the guidance, checking over the assessments, and as well as that, the marking criteria for the assessments was brilliant. It really prepared me for university, and also I think it was the real difference between me getting a first class honours in it as well, because it really did prepare me for the assessments. The course content within the nursing course was brilliant, as it gave all the basics of nursing skills and also the theory. The anatomy and physiology module came in extremely useful because I kept the notes, and in the course in university we actually weren't taught anatomy and physiology. You had to go and do it yourself, so it was really beneficial that I had already completed that module and had some insight into the anatomy and physiology. As well as that, the first aid and the referencing. The referencing is a key component in the assessment in university. So both of them came in extremely useful. So I'm really thankful that I got to do that as well. So I benefited from completing the course in Cavan Institute, the nursing course, as I got 11 distinctions in every single module in the course, and that gave me tremendous amount of confidence going into university, as I was well aware that nursing is actually the toughest degree that anybody can do. It's in the Guinness Book of Records, so I didn't have much confidence in myself, but from doing the course it really gave me tremendous amount of confidence. And as I knew that you wouldn't get as much support in university, but when I went to university I realised you don't have any support at all. So that was the difference between getting first class honours in nursing in the University of Chester was because of the support that I got here, and I was well aware of the assessment criteria and everything else. I didn't have any support from family or anything at home, as nobody in the family is a nurse, and so I didn't have anybody to check over my assignments or tutors or anything like that, like I did in Cavan Institute. So yes, I'm like so thankful for Cavan Institute and the course. I'd recommend it to absolutely anybody. Even if you did get points in your leaving cert to go straight into nursing, I would really think that you should do the nursing course in Cavan Institute first, to give you a real insight and just the basic knowledge and skills for doing nursing, really. It's a taster to see whether you'd actually even like it or not anyway. So yeah, I'm really thankful.
Hi all, my name is Chris Conway and I'm just here to talk to you today about the sports courses in Cavan Institute. So I would have completed level 5 in sports, recreation, exercise, and then I went on and done the second year in sports development, which was level 6. One of the main reasons why I chose Cavan Institute was because I was never really sure what I wanted to do in college, and I probably felt I wasn't ready for college at that stage. So it was a great year to take and decide on my future, whether sports was the thing for me or maybe I wanted to look at something different. Another reason why I chose Cavan Institute was due to the fees and maybe not being able to afford to go to third level at that stage. So it allowed me to save up for a year and get ready maybe for third level. After them 2 years, I then went on to IT Carlow, where I completed my level 7 and my level 8 in sports management and coaching. And through Cavan Institute, I gained a huge amount of experience in terms of what college life would be like. So in terms of assignments and to turn it in and how to even reference properly, Cavan Institute was top class for that kind of stuff and getting you ready for the next level in college. And then at least then when I went to third level, down to IT Carlow, it was very beneficial. I felt I had a little bit of a edge on other students where I maybe did concentrate into it, whereas I spent 2 years in Cavan Institute and I had learned all those different aspects, and not just on that side of things as well, through the courses I done or the courses and classes I done in Cavan Institute. So for a few examples would be the GA coaching. I was going down with my foundation award, and then I already had an edge on some of the class on doing that, and then as well classes like nutrition and gym instruction and stuff like that benefited me hugely going in, as I already had some of this material covered. Along with that as well, the subjects like autonomy and stuff like that, I learned all that stuff, and then it was kind of the second nature when I went back down there. So again, loads of huge benefits going to Cavan Institute. Again, maybe if you're not sure what you want to do in the future, or if you're not sure what you want to do right now, and there's courses in Cavan Institute, do apply. I'd 100% recommend going to Cavan Institute, and it's a great opportunity to see what you want to do. And then it's also a great opportunity where you get to spend maybe time at home. You might have a part-time job, or you could be big into the football like myself, and it's a great opportunity maybe to get to the next level with your training and stuff like that. And then the fact that you're at home, so whether you're involved with a club or you're involved with a county setup, it's a great way to get to the next level. So you could be a 17, 18, 19-year-old, and maybe you want to get to that next level. It's a great opportunity where you're at home, you can build on this type of stuff, talk to trainers and stuff like that. And then as well, the staff at Cavan Institute, just examples would be Brian Bates and Shane McCabe there, were hugely beneficial for my football career, and then along with other lecturers in the college too were massively beneficial, not just on the field but off the field as well. They were hugely beneficial to where I am today. So again, if you feel like you don't know what you want to do and maybe you want to spend a year closer to home, Cavan Institute is the place to be. So thanks very much. Stay safe everyone, and all the best in the future.
Hello everyone, and you're all very welcome to Cavan Institute's live event today. My name is Sonia Hoy and I'm one of the guidance counsellors at the Institute. Now more than ever, and in these unprecedented times, doing a PLC course has significant benefits, whether you're a Leaving Certificate student, a mature student who wishes to return to education, or indeed someone who wants to retrain, upskill to go back into the workforce. With the calculated grades taking the place of the traditional Leaving Certificate this year, many students out there will feel anxious, worried and uncertain about what their future holds, and indeed what direction their career path may take. A PLC course provides you with many opportunities, including taking a year out, use it as a gap year, use it as some breathing space to think about what you want to do. Dip your toe in the water, research the career area that you're thinking about, as opposed to moving into an honours degree programme and then deciding it's not for you. Identify your strengths and identify what you're good at and your interests, and rather than focusing on academic success and following the points race. Continuous assessment. Cavan Institute, that's what we're about, continuous assessment, and it's about assessing students fairly rather than rote learning and rather than sitting a large exam at the end of the year, which adds to the extra pressure. Continuous assessment will also better prepare you for the challenges ahead in higher education. You also get to do assignments. You also get to experience deciphering briefs, lecture theatres, taking notes. All of those fundamentals are hugely important when you make the transition into higher education, and they are invaluable skills to have and transferable skills to have. But more importantly, a PLC course, a QQI level 5, will provide you with the qualification to progress to higher education. The Institutes of Technology and universities are continually expanding their links year in, year out. You only have to look at University College Dublin, where they are continually expanding links into arts. There's 30 places there reserved for QQI applicants. Science, 30 places. They've increased their places into social science to 50. They've increased their places into agricultural science to 21. And this is not an exhaustive list. Similarly, with Maynooth University has reserved 175 places into arts for QQI applicants, and some of the time these places aren't even taken up. They've also developed new links into geographical and biological sciences. They also have developed new links into psychology through science, and business, all streams of business. Trinity College is following suit, and they're also recognising that the QQI Level 5 is a valid award and recognised in its own right. Not just in nursing and not just in science, they've now opened links into the business, economic and social science qualification, and into law also. UCG is following suit, and University College Cork, which is synonymous with the physical education degree programme, is also increasing their places in all of their courses. You only have to go online and look at their website to see all of those. Not just in Ireland is this possible. Students who have always dreamed about being a radiographer, who have dreamed about being a physiotherapist or an occupational therapist, we have seen students being really successful with their QQI Level 5 award and progressing to universities in the UK and indeed in Scotland. We've seen more recently our occupational therapy students progress to Robert Gordon Aberdeen, to Queen Margaret in Edinburgh, and our nursing students have been hugely successful in qualifying in universities in the UK. So if you've ever wanted to fulfil your dream, then Cavan Institute is the place to do it. In terms of the financial side of things, doing a PLC course is definitely more financially viable when you consider the student contribution fee that it costs to go to higher education of €3,000. And if you compare that to Cavan Institute's registration fee of €250, there's a vast difference. And also remember that when you embark on an honours degree programme in a university and you decide at Christmas or after Christmas that it's not for you and that you're struggling and that it's not what you thought it would be, well then at that stage you may be liable for fees. But also, if you're in receipt of a grant, you may not get that grant for next year. So these are all important factors to consider in terms of choosing your career path. So with that said, come to Cavan Institute, let us look after you. And finally, I'll hand you back now to Enda, our MC.
Thanks for that, folks. Lots of information there on that. For anybody joining us late today, bear in mind the session will be recorded and will be available afterwards. So if you missed some of the panel speakers, log on to our website and you'll see the recording. We have a busy list of questions here, which is great. We're going to have a busy session. We have Cara McDermott busy behind the scenes, our moderator, putting in some answers, but look, we'll expand on them where we can. And as I said, any of the questions that are not published today, we will answer them. And again, with any queries, even if you think of a question after today's session, email admin@cavaninstitute.ie and we will get back to you for sure. All right. Okay, so the first question we have is, will we be opening in September? So Anne-Marie, I'll put you on the spot and we'll kick it off from here, all right? So will we be opening in September?
Thanks, Enda. That's a really good question to start with. And as I said in my opening, our intention is very much to start our year as would be planned. We're obviously very mindful of following the government guidelines in relation to the opening of schools and colleges. And the guidelines are stating at the moment that schools and colleges will open in September. So we're very much planning and looking forward to resuming the new academic year as soon as we have the green light from the government in relation to doing so. Thanks, Enda. Back to you.
Sorry, folks, we're just having a little technical difficulty with Enda's mic.
Apologies there, folks. It's great from working at home, but remember to turn on your mic. Okay, the next question is, will there be online learning? So Anne-Marie, I'll just pass that back to you. Thank you.
Yes, and happy to take that question. Online learning has been very much a feature of our work at the Institute for the last number of months since the pandemic hit, and we've had to reorganise ourselves to working remotely, both as a team of tutors and with our students, and it has worked really successfully. We're obviously currently looking again at the recommendations with regard to social distancing and so on as they are released by the government, and very much again planning to work within those guidelines and to put whatever models of learning in place that are going to support that. So we're very definitely ready to embrace any elements of learning that are going to support our learners working on a blended model most likely. And we will be keeping our students up to date, and training is ongoing with our staff in relation to preparing ourselves for any anticipated changes in terms of how we manage our teaching and learning at the college. Thanks, Enda.
Thanks for that, Anne-Marie. Our next question is, I suppose, a very topical issue at the moment is, will hairdressing still go ahead in September? So, Anne-Marie, you're on a roll, so we'll keep you going on this one as well, maybe.
Yes, all our courses, as advertised, are being planned for September. There are no plans not to run any of our course areas, and indeed, as I said, in terms of the normal planning that we're doing, we are preparing all our subject areas, and hairdressing will be one of them, to be able to continue with our programs as planned and as listed in our prospectus and on the course listings on our website, cavininstitute.ie. So keep an eye on all of those, but hairdressing and all other course areas are part of our programs for study for next year. Thanks, Enda.
Okay, thanks, Anne-Marie, for that. The next question is, what is the timetable? So I see our moderator has put in an answer there. Our timetables run from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday. Just to expand on that a little wee bit as well, that's really important, because if you are planning on coming to us in September, it's key that that's our kind of set time, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday. Now look, that may change, it depends on timetabling, but what we always say to people during our registration days or our induction days is plan for the 9 to 4, and if your timetable differs from that, well then that's fair enough. Because look, we are conscious that people are coming in, trying to organise childminding and so on, but look, plan for 9 to 4, but timetables are subject to change, all right? Our next question is there a bus from Navan? Okay, again, our moderator has put in a good bit of information there in terms of links and so on. We have a number of students coming to us annually from Navan, Kells and so on, and we're greatly supported by the bus link from Bus Éireann. So I think the relevant information in terms of links and so on is published there on that. The next question, more detail here from Bus Éireann, Cavan route and so on. So thanks to the moderator for that. Next question is, how much are our fees for hairdressing? I'll probably take that one in terms of fees. Generally, I suppose there may be questions later on in terms of our overall fees, but just the particular question is in relation to hairdressing. The best place to go for that is go to our website, www.cavininstitute.ie, follow that link that's after been posted there, and you'll see the course fees, all right, for hairdressing. If you're on a grant or so on, unfortunately, that doesn't cover the course fees for hairdressing. Okay, so hopefully that is fine on the fees for hairdressing. Fees may come up again, so we'll address that later on. The next question is, can I get a grant? Okay, maybe we'll, so our moderators put up a link there to Susie. Maybe I'll just bring Sonia in on that one there. Sonia, do you want to maybe elaborate on that a little wee bit?
Hi, Andrew. Yeah, that's no problem. Yeah, the grant opened in April, on the 23rd of April. So absolutely, students can apply for the grant. There's an eligibility reckoner on the actual Susie website, and that assesses whether you are eligible or not for the Susie grant. So what I would say is try and apply as soon as possible, because it actually closes on the 9th of July. Okay, Enda.
Thanks for that, Sonia. Look, that's a very topical question, so look, definitely log on to Susie for sure. The next question is, when does the work experience for nursing take place? All right. I'm the school head over that area, so I'll answer that question. Based on past years, the work placements generally run the last week in January, the first week in February, give or take a week, but that's what they're generally looking at. The end of January, the commencement of February. Last year, some of our nursing students completed their placement as part of the Erasmus Program, and they were fully funded to take placements in the UK. That may crop up later on our Erasmus Program, but those students would have went through an interview process and would have been selected to take the placement, and we got fantastic reports back in terms of our students in placements abroad. Okay, the next question. Hi, I am a mature student. I am interested in complementary therapies. Can you tell me if this course is 5 days a week? Thanks. So, Brenda, would you mind just taking that one maybe?
I hope my mic is working there. Okay, so just to answer that question, so all of our courses run from Monday to Friday. There can be some days off for work experience. They're not days off as such, but they would be days that you'll be expected to maybe conduct your work experience. So complementary therapies is actually in the School of Hairdressing, Beauty and Science. And again, details of this course are all on the website. I'm going to hand back to you now, Enda. Thanks.
Okay, thanks for that, Brenda. As Brenda's saying there, look at all of our courses. If you're planning for the year ahead, plan for 9 to 4, 5 days a week. But as I said, timetables do change. But just for planning, it's important just to bear that in mind. Okay. Our next question is: if you do one course and decide that it's not for you, can you do another course? So Sonia, maybe in our career guidance, Sonia will definitely address that one.
Okay, Enda. Thanks, Enda. Yeah, so if you come to Cavan Institute and maybe you realise a month or 2 months in that the course really isn't for you, well, I suppose the protocol would be to come to the guidance department, you know, come to myself, and normally we will sit down with the student and just talk it through exactly, you know, where the issues are or why the student feels the course isn't for them, and really talk it through, and then liaise with the school heads to see, you know, can we facilitate that? But yes, 100%, absolutely. The majority of the time we will facilitate the students to transition into a different course. Thanks, Enda.
Okay, Sonia, again, the questions are coming in thick and fast, and you're all more than welcome to the live event here at Cavan Institute. Our next question is: will we get time to find a place to stay in time for college to begin, due to not being able to visit Cavan Institute because of the COVID-19 situation? Look, a very, very good question. So will we get time to find a place in time for college to begin? Anne-Marie, I'm just going to pass that one on to you. Thank you.
Yes, and I'm very happy to answer that question. Yeah, of course, that's a very natural question and query, and thanks for putting it forward. Yeah, look, we will be keeping in touch with students right throughout the summertime, and we have a really good administration support team at the Institute who are at the other end of the computer admin at cavaninstitute.ie, and they will always be ready to give you any updates in relation to information as it emerges in terms of when is suitable for people to source accommodation or come visit the college. And as soon as we are aware that we have the green light in terms of government guidelines, we will obviously be in touch with all of our students, as indeed we are right throughout the summertime. We keep in contact with our applicants at several junctures throughout the summer months. And as I said, the admin team in the college are available right throughout the summer, admin@cavaninstitute.ie, and they will always be ready to provide any up-to-date information for you in relation to circumstances. And indeed, keep an eye on our Facebook page as well. You'll always get up-to-date information there in terms of when it's most suitable to visit and when it's most suitable to source accommodation. Thanks, Enda.
Okay, our next question is there any certain time to start attending courses based on the current situation? Well, I suppose Anne-Marie probably has answered that question there really. I suppose during the summer period we will be in constant contact with our students, just kind of keeping them updated in terms of what's going on, but we are planning for a September reopening. And as I said, look, if anything changes, students have applied, we have your contact details, so look, we'll be in constant contact with you. But yeah, planning ahead for September. Okay. Our next question is how can I apply for a level 6 course at Cavan Institute? Again, our moderator has put in information in there, but I might just pass that on to Sonia, maybe, because look, we have students, a lot of students undertaking level 6 course. So Sonia, maybe just.
Yeah. Okay, Enda. Thanks. Yeah, so for our QQI level 6 courses, you apply direct to Cavan Institute. So if you have a look online, there will be the entry requirements there. So it depends if you're coming in as a standard applicant or a non-standard applicant, but the normal procedure is that the entry requirements for the individual or specific course that you want to apply for have those requirements there on the website. And if you could just check those out first and then apply direct as you would normally for a QQI level 5 course. Thanks, Enda.
Thanks for that, Sonia. Another question, can I apply for 2 courses to secure a place and make my choice before the registration day? Brenda, do you want to have a chat with Alan maybe, please?
Hi, Enda. Yeah, thanks for that question, and a very good question as well, because a lot of the time people are in two minds about what they actually want to do. So what we advise is to put down your first choice, followed by your second choice. And at any stage during the summer, you can change the order of your preference. And indeed, even when you come into the college in September, you can register for one course. There's a small window there of wiggle room, if you like, when you have you can change your mind. You can talk to the school head, you can talk to a tutor, you can talk to careers guidance, maybe get more of a feel for it, and you can actually change your mind in that first week or two after registration. So there is still time. So my advice to you would be put down the one that your gut is telling you to put down as your number one. And if you're not sure, that's absolutely fine. Put it down as your second choice and contact admin@cavaninstitute.ie if you want to change it on your application, and then talk to one of the relevant staff that I mentioned then in September, or even on the day of registration. I hope that answers your question. That was a very good question.
Thanks, Brenda, for that. That's a fairly detailed response. Our next question is, I would like to go to art college. What design courses do you have? Now, again, our moderator has put in a link there, but we have Brenda. Brenda's our school head in that area, so I'm just going to pass that back to Brenda. She may have additional information to add in here.
Okay, well, first of all, that's great. You have an idea of the area that you want to go into, and we have a suite of design courses in the institute that might interest you. Our art, craft and design course, lots of students use it as a foundation course to build a portfolio, and then to go on to apply to NCAD, Dún Laoghaire, any of the IOTs at Lone, Sligo, TU, to their art and design courses. Could be anything from fine art to different kinds of design, product design, etc. The year will afford you the opportunity to build your portfolio, and a lot of students choose that course. But we also have specific courses in animation, in 3D design and graphics. We also have courses in architectural design and technology. We have creative digital media courses. Used to be known as multimedia, now we call it creative digital media. We have computer games design, computer games development at level 6. So we really have a vast array of courses, and hopefully we have a new level 6 coming online as well in design. So whatever area you're interested in, it really does give you an opportunity to dip your toe in the water. If you have any specific questions about design or about an area of design, we would be thrilled to answer your questions. And if you just email in your query, then a specific query into admin@cavaninstitute.ie, we'll have one of the design tutors, or indeed I will, get back to you. You should also talk to one of our careers guidance counsellors about progression options as well, just to help guide you on that path there. I really hope that answers your question. We're very proud of our design department, and we have huge success with students getting into art college of their choice with their portfolios and their points. Thanks for your question.
Thanks for that, Brenda. Next question is, what are the costs like if you get the Susie grant? Okay, so I might just take this one. In terms of the Susie grant, we kind of mentioned it earlier. In terms of it depends on your individual circumstances, all right? But the specific question revolves around what does it cover, I suppose, if you come to Cavan Institute. The Susie grant will cover your PLC charge. So we have the PLC government levy. It's €200. So if you're on the Susie grant, it will cover that. Now, the Susie grant won't cover your student registration fee, or it won't cover your course fees, but it will cover the PLC charge. All right. Hope that clears that one up. Again, I've been offered a place and registered. What's the next step? So Anne-Marie, I'll just bring you back in on that one, maybe.
Yes, Enda, that's great. Well, if you've been offered a place and registered, that's great. We're really looking forward to welcoming you to the Institute in the new term. Our administration team will be in contact with you to give you updates in relation to each step of the process as it unfolds. Normally that involves setting aside a registration date, usually in late August, where students come in and confirm their place. And then following that, there will be an extensive induction program for students, which will cover a whole range of elements in preparation for starting your course of study at the Institute. There'll be a schedule communicated to all learners, and again all of that will be done bearing in mind that there may be certain restrictions to be put in place based on government guidelines at the time. So that's great, and for yourself and any other students who are at that position where they've offered a course, we're very much looking forward to welcoming you to the Institute in the new term. Thanks, Enda.
Thanks for that, Anne-Marie. Just to maybe expand a little wee bit on that as well, we'll have letters of offers going out to applicants the 1st, the 8th or the 7th, I think it's Monday the 7th of June, and we're asking applicants to pay the booking deposit by the Friday the 19th of June. And after that, I suppose, in terms of the full course fees, we are asking our applicants to have the full course fees paid by the 7th of August. Okay, hope that's a little bit of help on that. Our next question is, when will the results for the 2019 academic year be released? So, Anne-Marie, maybe I'll just get you to answer that one, please.
Yes. Okay, sorry about that. Yes, we're moving into the final stages now of completing the assessment process for this year. The results approval will be taking place tomorrow in the Institute, and following that, statements of provisional results will be circulated to students next week. And with that will be information around appeals, and all of that will be communicated to the students directly early next week. Thanks, Enda.
Okay, thanks for that, Anne-Marie. Another question on the Susie grant here. If you apply for the Susie grant and don't get it because you've already done a level 5, is there any other financial support you can get if you are 19? So, Sonia, maybe would you mind addressing that particular question?
Okay, Enda. So, if there's a possibility that you're not eligible for the grant, I know that the website is Citizens Information and studentfinance.ie is a very good website to log into, because it has a question and answer session that may answer that question. As I said, the Citizens Advice as well also have a website that may answer that question too. If you were over 21, you could have access to VTOS or the Back to Education, but at 19, you are not, unfortunately, eligible for VTOS or the Back to Education. So if you have a look there at studentfinance.ie, and hopefully you will be able to get some information from that. Thanks, Enda.
Thanks for that, Sonia. Look, that's a hard question to answer. For sure, start to engage with us and start to chat to us. You know, if you don't get the grant, come in, speak to us, and so on. We do put payment plans in place for some students, and it's on a case-by-case basis. But we'd like to have a chat with those students and see if we can work with you. But those two websites that Sonia has mentioned are fantastic resources as well. Okay, our next question is for Brenda. Is there a level 6 course in design? I think Brenda's partly maybe addressed that, but no, I'll put it back to Brenda again.
Hi folks, yeah, so we are just in the final stages of seeking approval for a level 6 course in design, and we are really hoping that that's going to be up and running in September. Keep an eye out on our website www.cavininstitute.ie for an update on that hopefully next week. But some exciting news also from the design department. We are launching our virtual end of year exhibition tomorrow afternoon. That's also going to be available on the website, and it's a brilliant opportunity for students who are interested in design to actually see student work. I meant to mention that in response to your question earlier on. So hopefully we will have a general course in design at level 6. We do have a level 6 course in creative digital media, in computer games development and creative digital media. So if you're interested in that end of design, yes, you know, that course is already there, but we're very excited about hopefully getting our new course up and running. As I said, keep your eye out on the website. I know that there's lots of demand for students to study design at level 6, so hopefully that'll become a reality. Keep your eye on the website. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Brenda. Again, one more question on fees here. So when will we have to pay our fees? Our moderator has put up, just kind of give you information on the dates. So on the 8th of June, a letter will be going out. We'll be looking for our booking deposit, which is €50 by the 19th of June, sorry, and then our final fees are to be paid by the 7th of August. Just a little bit on the fees. All the fees, I don't think there has been a couple of questions around fees, but all our fees for 2020-21 are on our website, and that gives a detailed breakdown of all the fees. Just very, very quickly on our fees, students are required to pay a student registration fee of €250. There's a PLC government levy, which I spoke about earlier, and if you're on a grant or medical card, you're exempt from that. There's also a QQI QQI exam fee of €50. If you're doing a level 6, that's €80. But if you're on a medical card, you're exempt from that. And there's also course fees. Now, I'm not going to go into any detail on the course fees, because the course fees, we do try and keep them to a minimum, but you need to go back to our website and look at the specific courses and see what the course fees are, right? So for a lot of the practical courses, obviously the course fees are going to be a little bit higher, but we do our best to keep them as low as we possibly can, all right? Our next question is, can I repeat a level 5? So our moderator has put up an answer, all course details. So Anne-Marie, maybe I'll just put that one to you maybe. Can I repeat a level 5?
Thanks, Enda. Sorry for the slight delay in coming in there, Enda. Yes, in relation to repeating a level 5 programme, we can get this query from time to time for learners for different reasons. Of course, if students haven't been satisfied or happy with the course they've completed, they can of course apply to do another level 5 programme. There can be some restrictions there in terms of getting a grant for completing a second level 5 programme, but generally in those instances we would take all of those applicants on a case-by-case basis and deal very specifically with them, but there's no reason why a learner wouldn't pursue an alternative level 5 programme having completed one previously. Thanks, Enda.
Thanks for that, Anne-Marie. Another question, I suppose a very topical question. So what's the story with COVID-19 and going to Cavan College? I suppose, Anne-Marie, you've probably addressed part of that maybe at the opening. So do you want to come back in there again maybe and just clarify, or maybe just, so what's the story with COVID-19 and going to Cavan College? As I said, look, we are planning for September, so I'll pass it over to Anne-Marie.
Thanks. Thanks, Enda. Yeah, absolutely. You know, obviously the pandemic has brought all sorts of challenges, not only to us, but to all education providers nationally. We are following very closely the government guidelines in terms of what will be required from us, and we will be implementing all of those guidelines as we move forward. As I said earlier, we are in the phase return to normal practices for the last phase. So schools and colleges are anticipated to be opening come September time. So that's very much we're on track for that, unless there are any changes between now and then in relation to government guidelines. But yes, the plan is to reopen in the new academic term. We can't confirm those dates yet, but as soon as we do know the dates, we will be in contact with our students and indeed with the wider public, and those dates will be posted on our website through social media, etc. Yeah, so keep in touch with us through the website or through admin@cavaninstitute.ie, and you'll get all those updates on a timely basis as new information emerges. Thanks, Enda.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. Look, that's an evolving situation, so
yeah.
Thanks for that, Anne-Marie. Our next question is, when does work experience take place for frontline and reception office management? Okay, look, I'll just take that one. The dates, work experience dates are not set in stone yet, but generally business studies, frontline and reception go on 2 weeks work placement prior to the February midterm break, all right, in around that time frame. It is subject to change, all right, but that just kind of gives you an idea. It's generally in the February time. It's 2 weeks. So hopefully that answers that question. The next question is, how much is the Susie grant each month? All right, now I cannot give you specific information on that because that depends on your individual financial circumstances. Look, the only advice I would give to you on that at the moment is log on to the Susie, start your grant application process, and again, the amount, it depends on your individual circumstances. So log on, Susie, main thing, Susie, get on as early as you can onto that website and engage with them in terms of supporting documentation and so on, all right? Next question there is, if I have completed a previous level 5, can I do another level 5, or do I have to do a level 6? Sonia, maybe we just bring you back in on that one, Sonia.
Okay, that's fine, Enda. Yeah, if you've already completed a QQI level 5 before and you wish to do another level 5, and I think Anne-Marie might have alluded to it earlier in terms of grant implications, you may not get the grant. But there's no reason why you couldn't apply for it. But just be careful, because if you're doing it to progress to an Institute of Technology or university, and you want to repeat the same QQI, sometimes the course requires that you do it in 1 year in a single sitting, as opposed to in 2 years. So just be careful with that. But if you need clarification on that, you know, you can go on to the CAO website. There is a section there called Student Resources. If you click on Student Resources, you will find all of the institutes using the drop-down arrow, and what you get then is you get an informative page of all of the entry criteria needed, or whether you can actually apply with the level 5, having done it over 2 years, if that makes sense. Hope that helped.
Thanks for that, Sonia. I suppose just for anybody who is joining us late today, bear in mind that the event will be recorded. So if you had to pop out even during the event, you can go back and go into our social media outlets and you can listen to the event again. All right. If you have a question and it's not been addressed here or whatever, feel free to email admin@cavininstitute.ie. We will get back to everybody. Okay, the next question again revolves around fees, which is great. It's great to get all these questions in. All right. Is there a method of paying the €50 booking deposit for the next academic year? Yeah. Look, you go onto our website. You would have applied through MIT. Okay, so if you go back in there again, you can pay online. Okay, we're moving towards a cashless college, so all payments online. Okay. The next question we have is, does the college organise your work experience? So Brenda, we might bring you back in on that one, Brenda.
Okay, thanks for that question. And look, the short answer to the question is no, that students are required to seek out and find their own work experience. One of the reasons for this is that students come from far and wide to Cavan Institute, and it might suit students better to actually find work experience closer to home, etc. And just from a transport point of view, that can work out much better for them. So students are required to find their own work experience, but they're taken through that process, and it's a very valuable process. Finding work experience isn't that unlike actually applying for a job, and actually going through that process of the CV and the letter and approaching companies and asking for work basically is a very valuable learning experience in itself. So yes, students find their own work experience. In a limited number of courses, we do have links with certain industries, and we use those links to actually place students, but that's only just in a limited number of courses. We also have, it just hasn't been alluded to in any of the questions so far, we also have a fairly extensive transnational work placement program through Erasmus, and I might be able to talk a little bit more about that. But in that case, obviously students don't seek their own work experience, but the placements are offered to them, and we have transnational placements in many countries, ranging from France to Spain to the UK to Estonia to Finland. There's many different places, and we were due to have another internship in the States this year as well. So the plan is to go ahead with those Erasmus placements next year. Government restrictions willing, but as I said, Enda might be able to talk a little bit more about that. But in the main, students find their own work placement, yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Thanks for that, Brenda. Yeah, look, at the work experience is a huge part of college life. Brenda touched on their Erasmus program. We've been running it now for the past probably 12 years, and we've probably sent in the region of 550 students abroad on work placement. It's a huge, students really find it a positive experience. Brenda's kind of listed off a range of different countries and placements and so on. Every year we would aim to send about 70 students abroad. It's fully funded. It doesn't cost the students a penny, which is great. All right. But I suppose what we're finding over the last couple of years is that the selection process is getting harder and harder because more and more students are aware of it. And so it is a formal interview as such, but look, we try and keep it as informal as we can. But it's a huge and it's a fantastic learning experience for the students. Okay, our next question is, does Cavan Institute have any creative writing activities or clubs, or writing in general? I'll probably take that one. I suppose maybe the short answer to that, it probably is no, but there's always a but with this one, because with our clubs and societies, we have our clubs and societies day in September, and we're always mad keen to get different clubs up and running, and it generally comes from the bottom up. So if a student has an interest in a creative writing or a particular club, if that student can come in with us and help us out, we will try and get that particular club up and running. But it really depends on coming from the ground up. So if you have an interest in that, come to us for sure, and we will try and get that club up and running. But good question. Next question is, do I need my leaving certificate to do a beauty therapy course if I am only 17? Sonia, can I just pass that one back to yourself, if you don't mind, in career guidance?
Well, I suppose, you know, I suppose beauty therapy is a 2-year program, and it's ITEC, CIBTEC accredited. So it's a fairly full-on course, but you know, we never say no, and what we do is we take every individual on a case-by-case basis. If your desire is there to be a beauty therapist, I suppose you're halfway there anyway. The only thing I will say is there's a good bit of the biology, anatomy and physiology in the 2-year program. But as I say, if your interest is there and you know, that's really what you want to do, we can look at that. And as I say, we will talk to you, engage with us, and we can take it from there. I hope that has helped.
Thanks for that. So again, folks, with any of the answers you're getting here today, if it's not particularly addressing what you're looking for, come back to us. Email us again. Look, we will work with everybody in terms of answering your questions. But thanks for that, Sonia. That's great. Okay, our next question. Questions are still coming in, which is great. We'll keep going. Is there any help available to me? I have a learning difficulty where I need help with some assignments. All right, very, very good question. I'll just maybe expand on this a little wee bit. I suppose in terms of your application with us, where you apply through MIT Online, it's vitally important that you tick the little wee box there just to disclose that you may need help or support. Everything is done in confidentiality. And during our induction process, which is generally the first week in September, what we do then at that stage is we try to get students over at that stage to engage with us and to seek funding then through the HEA fund for people who have made an application. So the earlier you engage with us in terms of needing supports, that's really, really important, because what we do find is students may disclose it during the academic year, and it is a little wee bit harder. So look, at the earlier you disclose and engage with us in a confidential manner, then the better chance we have of putting supports in place. So the next question here is, will I get any results during the year so I know how you're doing? All right, good question. Brenda, maybe we pass you back to that one. So will I get any results during the year so I know how I am doing?
Mike. Okay, I hope you can hear me there. Yeah, my mic is on. So will you get any feedback on results during the year? Absolutely. So as I mentioned earlier, an awful lot of the assessment that's done during the year is by continuous assessment. And really, when you come in September, assessment starts fairly soon. You kind of hit the ground running. And I always maybe compare it to a bit like putting money in the bank. So you get assignments done, you get feedback from them, you get formative assessment as you're going on, you get results, you get formal feedback at Halloween, you get more at Christmas. We have exam board meetings at Christmas, so you have a good idea at various points during the year of how you're doing in each individual module. Students find this hugely helpful. And you know, as I said as well, that our teachers are very approachable. It's very informal. Everyone's on a first name basis, and you can absolutely approach tutors for any kind of feedback outside of the formal feedback process as well. So it's very much a two-way street. You do your assessment, you get your feedback, you go on to the next bit, and as I say, it's like money in the bank.
Thanks, Brenda, for that. Yeah, feedback is hugely important during the year to our students. Our next question is, I am hoping to do a degree in international business. Is there any level 5 course which would help me get in to this course if I don't have enough Leaving Cert points? So someone looking to do international business and just querying whether any level 5 course will help them in that area in Cavan Institute. So Sonia, would you mind just addressing that one? Thanks very much, Sonia.
Yes, Enda. Yes, so to progress to international business, we have our QQI level 5 in business studies there. If you go online onto our website there, you will see that's there. And that QQI level 5 will get you into international business in pretty much most of the universities or the institutes of technology. And also even with the new links that have been developed with Maynooth and UCD, and also Trinity in terms of the BESS, that will also allow you, progress into those courses. So yes, the general business studies QQI level 5 will facilitate that process. I hope that has answered your question. Thanks.
Thanks for that, Sonia. Our next questions coming in great. Bear in mind, folks, the session is recorded, so if you've missed anything, go back over the recording and you can see it, or sorry, you can hear it, obviously. The next question is, will I need my own computer or device to study this year? So Anne-Marie, maybe would you mind just addressing now, will I need my own computer or device to study this year?
Yes, and no problem at all taking that question. And it's a very good question. We are, I suppose, at the moment planning in terms of how our scheduled and structured teaching programme might look. We're very mindful of the fact that we may be working in some kind of a blended learning model, which means that learners might be in the college for some of their course programmes and maybe not in the college or working from home for some of it. Again, all decisions will be made based on government guidelines. But in terms of looking at remote teaching, we would certainly be advising students that they would need to have a device. We're mindful of the fact that while a lot of students have phones, they can't access some of the material that is required in terms of downloads and so on for their course programs on phones. We are looking at ways that we can support students in this area, and as we approach our new academic year and induction session, we will be making information available to students around the necessity, number one, to have a device and what options might be in place to support students in gaining access to devices. So yes, very much something that is on our agenda and something we're very much looking towards incorporating advice and guidelines for students around that area moving forward into the new term. Thanks, Enda.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. Okay, our next question is: I really want my son. I really want my son to go to college, but he may need a bit of help academically. How can you support him? Okay, very good question, and we've partly addressed it up above. But look, I'm just going to go back over that because that's really important. I suppose over the years in Cavan Institute, we have a history of supporting students. We have an open learning centre in the institute, which is there to support learners of all ability. But I suppose the key thing as well would be to engage with us as early as you possibly can. So when you're applying online, let us know. It's all very confidential. Let us know that you may need support and help. Okay, when the earlier you do that, the better. Then we're in a position to put supports in and to help you, guide you through the year as well. All right, and look, at even in some occasions, what we have found in some years, students do not disclose, all right? And that kind of leaves the tutors then in a little, not an awkward situation, but if the tutors know as well that the students need a little bit of help, then the tutors are a little bit more conscious of that as well. But again, folks, it's all done very, very confidentially. So let us know as early as you possibly can, and we will put supports in place. Our moderator has put up a link there as well, which you can follow as well. Okay, our next question is: does any design course get a work placement? I think Brendan maybe has. Brendan, you just want to come in on that again? I think it just revolves around the work placement on design and probably work placement in general.
Yeah, so look, the work placements for design are very varied. So they range from, for example, different kinds of creative media companies for students in those kind of creative digital media courses, to architects' offices, to designers, to printers, to photographers, to exhibition spaces, to it could even be for museums for specific exhibitions. It could be with individual artists or makers. There are so many different, if you like, contexts in which design students can actually carry out their work experience. Usually we host an exhibition at the end of the year, a physical exhibition, which, as anyone knows who's ever been involved in an exhibition, is real work in order to get an exhibition off the ground. And sometimes some of the design students' work placement might be wrapped up with mounting that exhibition as well. So yeah, there's all kinds of different contexts for it. And just as the work of a designer or an artist mightn't necessarily follow the 9 to 5 pattern, sometimes the work experience for students in the art field can look a little bit different as well. But yes, they're still required to do a work experience, and the learning outcomes are the same, and the time put into it is the same as for any of the other courses. And just again, just to remind anybody who maybe who didn't hear it earlier on, this year is completely different. We have a virtual exhibition which is being launched tomorrow. Keep an eye out for it on the website after tomorrow afternoon, and you get an idea of some of the work that's being produced by our students. Just it's mounted in a different way this year. Okay, and thanks for your question.
Thanks, Brendan, for that. Questions still coming in, thick and fast, folks. It's great. Look, keep asking them for sure. The next question again revolves around finance, which is a huge issue. How can you be eligible for VTOS or back to education allowance, and what are the rates? Now, our moderator there has put up a link on the Cavan Institute, and there's a link on to VTOS. But I suppose just following on in the wee note down below there, for further information, contact Cavan Adult Education Guidance and Information Services at the phone number below. If you have a specific query on it, come back to us for sure. Email us at admin@cavaninstitute.ie in terms of VTOS and back to education. But the first place I probably would refer you back to is the Cavan Adult Education and Guidance Information Services. Hopefully that's okay on that, folks. But if it's not, again, as I said, email us back in again, and we will clarify your specific question. Next question here is: I have previously completed a level 5 in makeup, but I feel I'm very creative. Can I now do a level 6 in design? I'll just look at the moderator. Thanks so much. Okay, Brenda, look, we put that back to you, Brenda. So done a level 5 in makeup, Brenda, but looking to do maybe the level 6 in design.
Hi, yeah, and thanks for asking that question. Look, straight away, I'm thinking of one very successful past student that we had that did makeup artistry and went on to be a very, very successful designer indeed. So yeah, absolutely. If you've got you have that creative streak, and you know that you have a design bent, that you'd be good at it. You could well be eligible for our level 6 course. But again, we'd have to just look at that one just on a specific case basis, and we would be more than delighted to talk to you. As I said, our experience with people who have done makeup artistry before, who are very designy, has been extremely good. So yeah, if you just contact us, go if you email just admin@cavininstitute.ie, and one of our design team will get back to you.
Thanks for that, Brenda. I think we're coming towards the end of the questions. My God, we've had a busy session, all right, which is great, all right. I suppose just the one thing maybe on the flow of the event, I suppose I'll just go back to Orla and Christopher, our two former students. Sometimes I suppose when we're talking as tutors and as school heads and as guidance counsellors and so on, sometimes really the best people to listen to sometimes is the students and just the student profiles. And just to hear Chris and Orla just speak about their journey, I think that, look, at the profiles are really, really good. If you want to see other profiles, look, we've a whole range of other students from different areas as well. So our moderator has put up a link there where you can go in and see a range of different profiles, and it's just great to hear the student experience, where they started, you know, the process, and basically where they are now. Okay, so look, at definitely go back in and have a look at our profile. So I think that's it in terms of our Q&A session. I'm just going to pass you back to Anne-Marie just to wrap up the session. I hope you found it beneficial, and as I said, bear in mind it is recorded, folks, so you can go back in and view it again. Okay, Anne-Marie, I'm going to pass back to you. Okay,
sorry,
folks.
Mike, some technical issues with it.
Look, it wouldn't be a live event, folks, unless there was some little small wee technical issue. So we'll just give Anne-Marie just a couple of seconds to come back in. If she's unable to, folks, we'll just wrap it up maybe, but just give her a couple of seconds.
Okay, I hope you can hear me there.
Apologies, Anne-Marie, mic issue.
Okay, folks, Anne-Marie's just run into a little bit of difficulty there at the end. Okay, but as I said, just to kind of wrap it up, maybe I'm conscious as well that it was an hour and a half, which was great. We stuck to an hour and a half. We are planning ahead for September, folks. So in terms of your plans and so on, look, we are working towards September, so you should be as well. All right. Any questions at all over after today's sessions or over the summer months? Again, get in contact with us, email us. Our social media outlets, www.cavininstitute.ie is our main landing platform for our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. So we have a busy team behind all those social media outlets. So I think we'll leave it at that unless we can get Anne-Marie back in. But I just want to thank everybody for coming and listening, and hopefully the Q&A session answered your specific questions. So we're just going to give Anne-Marie just a couple of seconds. If we can't, folks, we'll just leave it. No, folks, look, I think that's it. Thanks everybody for joining us today. And as I said, if you have questions, feel free to ask us. Okay, that's it. I think we'll leave it at that. Thanks very much.